At 7:12 a.m. On a crisp October morning in 2024, a fire truck roared down Maple Lane in the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, Virginia, and sped past my house. Not because I didn't need help, not because the emergency wasn't dire, but because someone had deliberately obliterated the address numbers on my curb, my mailbox, and even the pillar by my front door. By the time the dispatcher called, frantically asking me to confirm my location, the neighbor's garage was already engulfed, flames clawing at my backyard fence. Standing there in my pajamas, heart pounding, I realized this wasn't a mistake. Someone had erased my address with intent, and I had a sinking feeling I knew exactly who. Her name was Linda Harper, the iron-fisted president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, a woman who once fined a neighbor for planting tulips that clashed with her approved color palette and reported my cat for loitering on her lawn. The air still reeked of smoke as I stepped outside, clutching a singed notice that had somehow survived the chaos. It wasn't from the fire department. It was an HOA citation accusing me of obscured address markings and labeling my property a public safety hazard. I stared at the curb, where the bold white numbers I'd painted just weeks ago were now smothered in a sloppy layer of beige. My mailbox was the same, the paint dripping onto the pavement like an amateur's calling card. This wasn't just petty, it was dangerous. And Linda's fingerprints were all over it. I'm not one for neighborhood drama. I'm a guy who likes his coffee black, his porch swing creaky, and his weekends quiet. But that morning, something shifted. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and I work as a county inspector for housing and safety compliance. Not the kind who shuffles papers or slaps wrist for untrimmed hedges, but the kind who knows the law inside out, especially when it comes to emergency access. Tampering with address markers isn't just a prank. It's a Class C municipal infraction, and in a case like this, where a fire truck couldn't find my house, it's a legal line someone had just obliterated. I played it cool at first. Later that day, I spotted Linda strolling by with her over-groomed poodle, sporting a collar that probably cost more than my car. She flashed a smile sharper than a razor. "Oh, Ethan, what a shame about your address numbers," she cooed, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Hope the fire crew didn't have too much trouble." Her eyes gleamed with the kind of satisfaction you'd expect from a kid who'd just gotten away with stealing cookies. "Yeah, odd," I shot back, keeping my tone even. "They were fresh last month. Must be the weather." She nodded, all crocodile tears, and sauntered off. My hands twitched not with anger, but with the thrill of knowing she had no idea who she was messing with. That evening, I dusted off my county badge, the heavy, metal-sealed kind with a QR code that screams authority, and pulled up Municipal Code 182.7a. Tampering with residential address markings is a serious violation, punishable by fines, citations, and even misdemeanor charges if it endangers lives. And thanks to a recent update, the code now covered HOA overreach. I grinned. This wasn't about revenge. It was about accountability. But I needed proof. I ordered a motion-activated camera disguised as a garden rock, complete with night vision and cloud storage, and set it up on my mailbox. 2 nights later, at 2:03 a.m., it caught its first star. There was Linda, in a hoodie and leggings, wielding a spray can and a stencil like a low-budget graffiti artist. She didn't just cover my numbers, she painted an ON compliant in a font so tacky it could have been rejected by a comic book. The footage was gold. Her poodle yapping in the background, her purse swinging as she worked. I saved it, backed it up, and sent it to my county email. The HOA's next meeting was billed as Community Unity 2024, and Linda had plastered flyers everywhere. I showed up in a blazer, jeans, and a mug that read, "County's Finest." Linda was at the podium, preaching about uniform mailbox heights and visual cohesion. When she opened the floor, I raised my hand. Her smile faltered. "Go ahead, Ethan," she said, like she was indulging a child. I plugged my USB into the projector and let the footage roll. The room gasped as Linda's nighttime artistry filled the screen. "That's fake," she shrieked. "Deep fake nonsense." But the timestamps and GPS data didn't lie. I slid my badge onto the table. "Ethan Caldwell, County Inspector." "Linda, You violated safety codes and endangered emergency response. Shall we discuss penalties now? The silence was deafening. Linda's face froze, her mouth half open like a fish out of water. Someone in the back muttered, "She's toast." The meeting ended with her storming out, but I knew this was just the opening shot. Linda didn't retreat, she doubled down. The next morning, a neon green HOA notice was taped to my door, citing my excessive porch light wattage and irregular grass length. It was laughable, but I didn't respond. I was already digging deeper. At the county office, I filed for a public audit of the HOA's records, citing the address tampering and suspicious expenses. Within days, I had temporary authority to investigate. I started with Linda's property. Her unpermitted deck was a code violation waiting to happen, and her garage, converted into an HOA command center with a mini fridge and a suspicious-looking massage chair, was zoned residential, not commercial. I sent official notices through proper channels. Meanwhile, neighbors started talking. Mrs. Lopez shared how Linda fined her for unapproved window curtains. Mr. Hayes, a retired cop, had doorbell footage of Linda measuring his fence at midnight. She'd been terrorizing the block, building a secret file of infractions. The HOA's public expenditure page was a goldmine. Linda had reimbursed herself for community enhancements like $300 in artisanal cupcakes and a $2,000 consulting fee to L. Harper Designs, her own PayPal alias. I compiled everything and sent it to the county auditor, who responded within hours. Linda had a history. A previous HOA she'd led had collapsed amid similar accusations, but she'd slipped through. Not this time. The showdown came at a packed HOA meeting. Linda, in a power suit, railed against outsiders undermining the community. I stood, projected a receipt for a $1,800 pergola she'd bought with HOA funds, then flipped to her spray painting my curb. The crowd went quiet. I laid out the violations, the fines, and a letter from the county flagging her leadership for review. A neighbor, Mr. Patel, moved to suspend her permanently. The vote was unanimous. Linda left in silence, clutching her dog's carrier, her reins shattered. But Linda wasn't done. A week later, flyers appeared, accusing me of being a county plant. Then my mailbox was vandalized, stuffed with a fake eviction notice. A tip from a nervous board member, Sarah, revealed Linda was planning a rogue HOA revival with forged documents. I found her Falinga Restored Harmony board, listing her as director, signed with names of long-gone residents. She'd even booked a library room for a reclamation meeting. I went, not as an inspector, but as a resident, with Sarah, Mr. Hayes, and Mrs. Lopez. Linda took the stage, spinning tales of chaos under the new board. She flashed a chart claiming 500 violations in a month, pure fiction. I stood and asked for her data source. She stumbled. I pressed about her fake filings. The room turned. I projected her forged documents, her handwriting clear as day. "This isn't leadership," I said. "It's fraud." The crowd erupted. Linda fled mid-sentence, her comeback in ruins. The county banned her from HOA rolls for 5 years and fined her for falsification. Her house hit the market soon after a for sale sign sagging in her yard. Movers came, and she glared from her porch one last time before vanishing. A new couple toured her home, and I told them, "It's a great place now." No quirky neighbors left. Weeks later, a package arrived, a half-used can of beige spray paint and a note in Linda's cursive. A keepsake. "You won the mob, but I shaped this place." I didn't toss it. I put it in a glass case labeled Exhibit B, the cost of control. A local reporter caught wind of the saga, and his article, "The Inspector Who Toppled the HOA Tyrant," went viral. Neighbors threw a block party with spray paint can cookies and stories of Linda's absurd fines. The case with the can sat on a picnic table, a quirky trophy of a battle won. Willow Creek changed. The new board fixed real Isuesno more font debates. People waved, smiled, shared tools. My curb numbers shone bright, a quiet symbol of what we'd reclaimed. Linda's paint had tried to erase us, but it only made us bolder. Trust, not control, built our community. And that was enough. What do you think? Was Ethan too harsh? Or did Linda deserve everything she got? Should HOAs have this much power? Or are they just playgrounds for petty tyrants? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that spark a fight.